Do you ever get really frustrated or like really annoyed? I definitely am guilty of that. One thing that has helped me deal with that a lot lately is something I saw on a video. A guy named Ryan Holiday, a Stoic, um, Daily Stoic, I think is his channel, maybe. Momento Mori, which means remember you have to die, I believe. Basically, anytime I'm getting frustrated about almost anything, or anytime I'm getting annoyed, or I'm getting persnickety, I like that word. Any kind of anytime I'm getting anything except grateful, happy, joyful, basically any other emotion is damn near unacceptable because we're all going to die. And it just is so unbelievably grounding when you realize, like, shit, like somebody that's on their last day, they will take your worst problems for every additional day that it's giving them. I think. I I don't think, I could be wrong because I can only have my perspective, obviously, but I just don't think from the conversations I've had with people that most people can truly project themselves to the moment that they're going to die, or to the time when they're old, whatever line whatever line you consider old to be, barring an unforeseen circumstance of an unfortunate death or whatever. um, you're going to be that one day. You will be past that line, and that's if things go well. If things don't go well, you won't even make it to that line. And I just don't think most people can realize that every moment, any moment, no matter how far away it is, every moment is right now. That means basically be happy, be so unbelievably happy, so unbelievably joyful and grateful. Every moment is right now. Every moment. Every moment you thought wasn't going to happen, that a whole shitload of them have already happened. Like, I remember when I was 11, 12, 13, thinking I would never drive because it just seems so far away. Because when you're like 13, 3 years, that's like damn near a quarter of your life. And you've only been really like conscious for 6, 7 years, really. So it's like half of your conscious life. So 3 years seems like a really, really long time. And as you get older, the aperture kind of zooms out a little bit. So 3 years is relative to the amount of years that you've been conscious. And then, I'm 41. 3 years goes by pretty quick now, depending on how much you exist in routine, or how much you exist in, like, I do this every day and I do this every night and I do this every day, and then this week's gone and that week's, like, that shit can greatly accelerate your life, or at least your like perspective on looking towards the past. Because if you're always doing the same thing, I believe it's harder for the brain to distinguish between days and then timelines, and then, weeks, months, years. They kind of blend together more. Whereas if you're constantly doing different things, or you're constantly changing goals, or you're constantly learning new skills, I think that you can greatly widen the amount of time that you have on this earth just by building skills, or by changing experiences, or by doing hard things, or doing things that suck. Like for benefit, like people would say, like sauna or cold plunges, or running or planks or any kind of fitness thing that really sucks, but at the end of it, you're like, man, I'm really happy I did that. But I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but I don't think, unless you really sit with it, that you just picture taking your last breath. Let's say it goes well and you're healthy until your last few days and you're 100, 100 years old, and you have several loved ones around you, and you know it's coming. You know it's coming. Like, okay, I have hours. I have, tens of minutes. Then I have minutes. Then I have whatever. Like, my heart rate's accelerating thinking about it. That's scary. It should be scary. It's okay to not constantly be plagued and anxious and in fear of it, but it should be scary because you've not done it before in this life. Like, how generally that's one of the ways that we kind of get over fears is it's like, okay, you got to go do the thing. Well, you can't do this thing. You can only do the thing one time, as Bugs Bunny said, or maybe it was Donald Duck when he pulled off a really amazing trick. He blew himself up or something like that. He's like, it's an amazing trick, but you can only do it the one time. So it's like, it's scary. But that fear, they say that's what separates us from all of the other animals. I mean, we can't know for sure what animals actually think and what they know, but the idea that we know we are going to die, that we know and we can plan for, and we understand, people around us die, and we understand that we will die, and we understand the implications of, whatever consequences in the wild, like when we used to run from predators or get into tribal warfare, things like that. Like, we could understand, like, hey, I might not come back from this. That's what separates us from a lot of the animals, is just that knowing. I used to call it looming peril or sense of impending doom. But when you catch yourself getting frustrated, or you're just dealing with some petty stuff, just don't deal with it, man. Do not deal with it. Let the person win the argument. I'm not saying to lay down and let people walk on you. That's not what I mean. I just mean that probably 90%, 99% of the actual arguments that we deal with are not a matter of life or death, a matter of things that have to be settled, have to be solved, have to be decided because they have some high level of critical decision to them or something. Most of them are ego wins. Most of them are, no, I said this, you said that, you want to be right because you want to be right. And at the end of the day, it probably doesn't matter. And when you put it in the context of I'm going to die, it almost definitely doesn't matter. It's not worth your time. It's not worth your time to be upset about. It's anytime you catch yourself in judgment, it is not worth your time. You're whatever you believe when you die doesn't matter. If you got to the end and you looked at a humongous list of how much time you spent doing different things, and you had judgment of others, and you had hundreds of hours or thousands or days or weeks of time that you're judging other people, that's crazy when you put it in that context. I don't want to do that. I've done it. I've done all kinds of stupid stuff. I've spent so much time doing things that as I get older, I'm like, man, what the hell was I doing? I don't drink now. Not right now. I don't drink anymore. I spent so much time drinking because I was looking for a way to like decompress, or a way after you come home to be like, all right, I need to switch modes, or like just to change your headspace a little bit from like work mode, to, okay, it's family time. Like I need to chill out and I need to actually be present and be with these people. And honestly, it is and was helpful for that, but it's really hard to keep it like within certain reins. And then obviously you don't want to be drinking every day, but that's what it becomes, or at least that's what it became for me. Even though I was like extremely regimented, I'd be like, okay, at 6 p.m. I have this much alcohol per hour until 8 p.m. And I was pretty damn regimented about it. It's still just something I don't want to do. I don't want to waste my time blurring the lines. I don't want to, not that it's 100% time waste. It's just when I look at that list at the end of your life, if it said, how much time, how many hours, days, weeks, months did you spend intoxicated? And then, let's say it listed every single substance, you spent, for me, probably months or years, like under the influence of alcohol. I don't want that anymore. I want to be unbelievably present. I want to be just joyful. I want to be happy. Like, not only do I want to be joyful, I want to spread joy to everybody around me that I possibly can. Because, not that I'm like a Bible thumper or anything like that, and just certain things stick out, like the forgive them for they know not what they do. I don't know what book that's from. I mean, I think it's from one of the Bible books. I don't know specifically what book within the Bible. But because I don't think most people can truly understand what it means to think like, oh shit, I'm going to die, then like when they're being upset or something like that, like I still want to try to help, genuinely try to bring them some kind of joy or peace or love or understanding or any of those things. I just, if they truly don't know and don't understand, then they just weren't granted the perspective. And it's a gift and a curse, absolutely. My fear of death, I'll call it that, started when I was about 6 years old. I remember where I was. We were in a 2-bedroom apartment when I lived with my mom, stepdad, 3 siblings, and me. We were in a 2-bedroom apartment. And it was one of the rare times when my dad actually came into like my bed. He had us every other weekend, and he was like dropping us off, myself and my older brother Jason. And he was like tucking me in, and it was one of the rare times that he came into where we lived. And I think only my mom was there. Like my stepdad wasn't there for whatever reason. So my dad like came in and like tucked me into bed. I was 6 years old. I was little. And my mom was there with him. So it was like, one of the only times I can remember, probably the only time I can remember having both of them at my bedside, until I got arrested when I was like 27 and chained to a hospital bed. And then they were both there at my bedside again. That's another story. But, and I remember when I was not arrested, when I was 6, it hit me right then that they were both going to die. And I just started crying my ass off because I was like not ready for that information. Not ready for it at all. Not ready to understand like one day they will be gone. Because what comes immediately after that knowledge is like, oh shit, I'm going to die too. If they're going to die, I'm going to die too. Where are they going to go? Where am I going to go? Like as a 6-year-old dealing with all this, like I didn't have the like language capacity to to lay it out to them. And I don't know that either one of them had the capacity to actually make me feel okay about it. I don't know that even on their best day they could make me feel okay about it, because even now I still don't really feel okay about it. My dad passed a few years ago. I'm at his grave right now. It's a Sunday. Because I'm not really okay with it. You know, I miss him. I miss him a lot. My mom's still alive, and I'm blessed, absolutely, that she's still alive. But, you know, I know she won't be around forever. And one of the most messed up thoughts I can't do it now, but I thought for decades that maybe I should die when both my parents are alive, because I would get to have them with me, you know, potentially when I died. It's like, what better way to die than to have both of your, you know, provided you talk to your parents and, you know, you're okay with your parents and, you know, they love you and you love them and everything else. But I always, like, many years I was depressed. I used to think like that would be the best way to go out. I have my mom and my dad at my bedside. You know, they were with me when I came into the world, and they can be with me when I leave it. You know, and honestly, that was like something I thought about even when I wasn't depressed, because that seems like the most comforting way to go. Or to have, like, say, your grandparents. I mean, if you could have a whole shitload of family, like especially your parents, your grandparents, everybody. The only problem with that is you're probably like a little kid, you know, which is, and I understand it would be devastating to one of the reasons I never actually went through with like any of those things, because I ultimately didn't want to cause all of those people pain. And honestly, I was afraid of hell. Now I don't think it exists. I don't think it exists. That's a blanket statement. There's a lot of context within that, because it does kind of technically exist, but I don't think it exists in the like colloquial like terms that everybody kind of uses it for. Anyway, just don't be frustrated, man. Don't be upset. Don't argue with people. So I started doing this lately, like 4, 5, 6 months. I started forgiving everybody I had any kind of gripe with, anybody who was mad at me or upset at me or anything, anybody I had any kind of feelings towards. Like, you know, nowadays we can text. It makes it a lot easier, and it's still useful. It's still like a beautiful thing to forgive somebody, to tell somebody that you forgive them, to tell somebody that you love them. I am one of those people that text people all the time, like, hey, I love you. Probably 95% of the people that I text I love you to don't say it back to me, but I don't care. That's not the point. The reality is I do my best to love everybody. Literally everybody. So especially people that, like my loved ones, I'll text them all the time. Like, hey, I love you. I just, you know, I miss you. I was thinking about you. And rarely do I get an I love you back. You know, even when I just get a text back, you know, that's a good thing. But that's not the point. That's not the reason I do it. It's just me wiping all of those things off of my plate and off of their plate, I think is the most healthy things that you can do. Like, because we are going to die, because you don't know when that's going to happen. You don't know when you're going to lose anybody. You don't know when they're going to lose you. You don't know any of these things. So, you know, exist as much as you can within like the side of the spectrum that is love, within the side of the spectrum that is happiness, within the side of the spectrum that is like happy memories, within the side of the spectrum that, you know, on like that ledger where they write how much time you existed within each emotion or each state or each anything. like the positive side of that, you know? Momento Mori. Remember, you have to die. You have to die. We don't get a choice. I love you.